I think some of the other builds are as well, and new rune words, the mercenary changes. My favorite thing, honestly, is the insight in bows. That is just like such a cool change.
Yeah, the insight in bows is definitely interesting, because that could even be early on. Obviously, it's not going to absolutely wreck, and it kind of seems like it's obviously made to get the Act 1 mercenary good. It could definitely be a like a budget option early on for, you know, just regular boazons, because it just takes such low runes, low level runes. 4 open sockets you could get, I don't know exactly where, but I mean early hell at the latest, I would imagine. So kind of the same way that insight is like a go-to, you plug it in instantly as soon as you get anything, and you could go from there. Like, it could be the same thing for boazons too.
Yeah, insight just for like bosons, like you're saying, you know, that'll solve your mana problems early on. It'll also, it gives a huge amount of damage. Honestly, insight is pretty sick. It gives you critical strike. Like, yeah, you don't have IES, but you know, very solid option, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that too for the mana. I kind of wasn't thinking about the meditation aura for actually when it was on the Amazon, but yeah, like, and they did lower the mana costs coming up here, I did see, for a lot of the skills for cold and fire. But then even though it'll have even less of an issue once if you have an insight bow on there too. Yeah,
exactly.
So what do you think about some of the skill changes? Are there any of them that you're super excited? Everyone's excited for, like, the Nova Sorceress especially. That was the first one that jumped out to me. Was there any other ones there that you're super excited about?
So like I said, Impale, I want to throw around the idea with that. I'd love to try Freezing Arrow, like the elemental bow stuff, because like I want to see Exploding Arrow do damage in hell. Like, it treads in normal already, but like I want to see it, you know, cow running and all that stuff would be really, really
yeah, that
cool.
is true. That Exploding Arrow, like, in my experience and what I've ever seen, it was literally, you couldn't even with all the wealth in the world, you could not make that work, you know, from what I've seen. So
yeah, it just doesn't have enough damage output, I'd say. So as far as the assassin, like Dragonflight, the way that just overall that they took away cooldowns and there's like individual cooldowns now, that's just so much better, and it makes it so that people have like can have a higher skill cap. For example, like Meteor Orb or Meteor Blizzard, you know, whatever you wanted to run, basically you could just swap between those like super fast and have non-stop damage, rather than being like, oh, do I attack fire for this cooldown or do I attack cold for this cooldown? It's like, no, there's a fire immune here and there's a cold immune here. Like, throw that down, throw this down, and then yeah, it's just gonna be, the skill cap's gonna be higher overall.
yeah, and definitely just like the, you know, per second damage output. Not having to, the number of times when I've, you know, you cast a skill and you're tapping your fingers on the desk waiting for the skill to, you know, come back from being red, and you're like, I wish I could cast literally anything right now, but I just gotta stand here and hope for the best until that happens.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's gonna be, and when I was first reading over it, I guess I didn't realize either how much of the damage output would be. I kind of thought about it, but just the more I think about it, the amount of damage output you can get from those cooldowns being like a half a second, and some of them, yeah, they're like 4-second cooldowns. We're going down to like 0.6 or 0.5. So even on those ones, and they don't usually, most of them, I think it said always, they didn't override other skills anymore. So that's going to be pretty cool in my opinion. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's gonna change the meta like drastically, and maybe even make things like Infinity, because of the hybrid skills and cooldowns and stuff like that. Infinity maybe not as needed, which would be a great thing. You know, the less that we have to rely on Infinity to do our damage, you know, in my opinion, I think that's great.
Yeah, that will definitely help out, like, you know, people who can't get 2 burr runes right away, you know, which
right, exactly.
This guy, you know, unless right. Some of these legends in my chat tend to try to give me stuff too often. I gotta tell them to back off. Hey, guys. let me struggle through the
trying
game
to
on
play
my
a
own.
game here.
Yeah. Let this noob here struggle through the game. I know you guys want to help me. I appreciate it. Rhino, Strass, all you guys out there. So
yeah. One other thing is like Dragonflight. Like, we already know the assassin's pretty fast through the game. Obviously it doesn't beat the sorceress, but like with the addition of Dragonflight, that was another skill I thought was really cool because you're only using one charge every time you use a finishing move, and in addition to that, they removed the delay, so now you're just gonna move around like a little flickering strike. I don't know if you ever played PoE, but
a PoE I never got around to.
Okay, so like basically just like a little, you know, one monster, and then just like have your 3 charges, and you have bursts of speed and all that. So Assassin's gonna be really fast. I might even, and they remove synergies on some things like Death Sentry, for example, freeing up some points for things like Dragonflight. So I think it's gonna be a lot faster of a class.
Yeah, I will be perfectly 100% honest. The martial art assassin I've literally never touched before, so anything you say to me will be like I'm learning in school right now, you know. So I know you you know way more about that stuff than I do. I'm more of when it comes to Diablo 2 stuff and the streaming and the videos, I'm like a guy that devoted a bunch of time, and like I know some good stuff. You definitely massive know all the knowledge, so.
Well, you need a mix, you know. Everybody's where they're at, and it's great because like there's things that you'll see that I won't see because I'm like thinking way too deep on things, and it's great to have the variety throughout the community. You know?
one and like sometimes, and not necessarily with Diablo 2, but if there's something that I think that I already know stuff about, and then so you might overlook something. So yeah, I get what you're saying there. I can't think of any because I don't really know everything about anything. So I can't really think of anything like that, but it definitely happens sometimes. Yeah.
Right.
So, all right, I'll jump in. There's a lot of people in my chat I see coming up here. I can't read everybody's comments, obviously, but I try to like overview while I'm listening. Everybody who watches my videos and my streams knows I'm not smart enough to do 2 things at once. But a lot of people are asking about the Act 6 leak thing. What do you think? Do you think it was a slip, or do you think it was a troll? Because I know Llama has a ton of fun with his chat. They joke around with him, he jokes back. They even like make fun of each other back and forth. So do you think it was a straight up troll, or do you think it was a little slip?
So,
and yeah, I know you know Llama a little bit, and I don't know him at all. He's a legend. He's like a celebrity in Diablo 2, so I know that you know him a little bit, but I just want to see what are your words on it or whatever.
Yeah, so overall, I'd say that I don't think it's a leak. I really don't. I mean, it'd be really cool if it does, or if it ends up being that. But overall, the amount of times that he has mentioned in his streams saying Act 6, you know, previously, and then wasn't freaking out, he was just joking around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that happened too many times for me to believe that this is actually a leak. However, his reaction was pretty solid. I did watch the video you had put out, and that was pretty great. But overall, I think he was just trolling. He didn't end up deleting the VOD, from what I heard.
Right? Yeah, it's still up. That's how I got the little clips. I went and hopped on his Twitch and scrubbed through and found him. So.
But yeah, that should be, I think, pretty. I don't think anything's gonna happen with that.
Gotcha. Yeah. From the time I made the video and then talking to other people and seeing a few comments here and there, like, obviously, I'm like working hard to try to get the channel going, and obviously I'm streaming. So, and you know how it is. Like, if you're streaming, you might not have a ton of time to watch other people stream, you know, because it takes a lot of time. And it's not like when I used to work in a factory, you know, I could plug in, listen to Mr. Llama for like 4 straight hours when my mind's melting out of my brain because I'm so bored. But the last few months I haven't, you know, and if he's been joking, some people had commented that, you know, oh, Phil, you're a bleepity bleep because he says Act 6 all the time, you idiot. You should delete your channel. And I'm like, well, I can't watch
these people.
Well, I'm just joking. I mean, it was something like that, but I kind of threw that in there for comedic effect. But yeah, just you know, if people who have watched his channel like 8 hours every day, his hardcore fans, which are awesome that people will, you know, have the hardcore fans that watch it all, but I haven't seen every stream over the last 3 months, and maybe he says that at least once a week, and I haven't seen every stream, you know, but I seen that one. I thought it was super interesting, and some of my friends were talking about it. I seen it on Reddit. Someone had posted about it, so you know,
it was
I was gonna say the reaction looks very realistic, but it's maybe, if what you're saying, he says it all the time, he might almost like practice the troll, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. He did a good job. I really liked the video as well that you put out. That was it was fun. It was fun for sure.
Appreciate it. Yeah. It was kind of, you know, it's fun to make. I hope he doesn't take it the wrong way, you know what I mean? Because when other people make videos about you, you never know. But Llama, if you're out there, I love you, man. You're a legend, but you're like a celebrity. So if you say stuff, it's gonna blow up and make news.
That's right.
So
exactly.
So getting back to the PTR 2.4, one of the ones that I'm pretty excited for too is Fire Druid, because Fire Druid, I did play Project Diablo 2 a little bit, and that's one of the ones that I played a lot. You're hitting the Fire Druid out to like the Stony Tombs super early, and you could just walk through there, no problem. So hopefully, I'm hoping they hit that one right to where it's not, and any fire skill in Diablo 2 isn't going to be crazy just because there's so many fire immunes in so many locations. But I hope that they hit that one right with the right leveling or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, I think they weren't. I mean, I agree with you. Fire immunes are all over the place in Diablo 2. However, with the addition to Stony Tombs being 85 and some of the other areas, now I think fire isn't actually in as bad of a place as it was. Like, so Stony Tomb farming, again, because you've done it in PD2, you know how that goes, and now we're gonna have that same thing pretty much on the in LO or D2R. And like with the addition of cooldown, like individuality, like volcano and molten boulder, like in between, you know, you can't spam. I believe you can't spam, you know, volcano or spam molten boulder, but you know, you can go back and forth with each one of them, and I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the molten boulder was that one, and I don't know if you'd remember, I think that was lowered the cooldown to like half a second, wasn't it? Because that
it's 1 second.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I definitely would not trust my memory on that. I'd trust yours over mine. But even if you're dropping down either fissure or volcano or whatever ends up being the one you want to use, yeah, and then you shoot molten boulders in there, put another one down, that's definitely gonna, obviously, you know, put that damage output way up there. So
right, as long as it's not like, you know, you press the button like it used to be and your entire skill tree turns red. It's like, all right, well, now we just sit here.
Yeah, that's one of those finger
like,
tapping type skills right there. Yeah,
that's right.
So
yep.
Yeah, Fire Druid's going to be cool. The Nova Sorceress, yeah, it's going to be super interesting. A lot of people comment about the Nova Sorceress with Lightning Storm, right? Lightning Storm, that's that skill that everyone used to use in like 2003, and then nobody uses anymore. So
yeah, Thunderstorm is
Thunderstorm. There you go.
Thunderstorm's like it attacks too slow in my opinion still, but they are adding a synergy with the static, so it's you know, more damage. It's a step in the right direction. So we'll see how it goes. That's why we have PTR, right?
Right. Yeah. We'll see if it does anything. Because I remember having it back in the day, and yeah, just dropping hell cows in one shot. You know, when you had the Nova Source going crazy, boom, boom, whole herd of cows keep going on. The game would start if you didn't get in the portal in the first 10 seconds. The cows are all gone. So that's what. Hopefully, it's not that crazy again, but it would be nice to see more. Yeah, the more Nova going for sure.
Yeah, I would love to play it. I'm super excited for Nova Stork myself. It's just like such a fun play style.
Yeah, it is. It can be super quick. You know, especially if you hit that 200, and you just teleporting around super fast, flashing them out so fast.
It'll be zooming.
Yeah, zooming. Yeah. One. Speaking of the PTR for a sorceress is here, that obsession rune word. I think it's very mixed people's opinion on it, and I'm on the side of that. that could early on, yeah, you're not going to make it in just some random 6-socketed staff. Like, here's a blank staff with 6 sockets, put the Zod rune in and everything else and get yourself 4 skills on a staff. But I think maybe a lot of people are overlooking, and obviously your opinion, if you get that sick base for that, like, you know, the 3 to this skill, 3 to that skill, 3 to the lightning mastery to go with it, I could see that being better than the, like, an Oculus, you know, Spirit Monarch combination, right?
Yeah, it has potential to be like best in slot depending on how you set up and how crazy the base is.
Yeah, because I could see the base as being worth more than the runes going in it for sure. Like, if it really is that good, like a perfect base, you know, I could see it definitely being worth more than the runes even going in it for sure.
The only issue is you have things like Esports and Death's Fathom, which are like, you know, +3 to skills.
Right.
They're both +3 to skills potentially, and they have the, you know, cold skill damage on the Death's Fathom and fire and lightning on the Esports. So it's like you are missing those things, and then when you're using that, you can also use a shield like Spirit with +2 skills and all that. So it's not gonna make it so those things aren't used. Like when you're using a staff, you lose block chance. You're losing a bunch of other defensive stats. Granted, there's a bunch on that thing.
Right.
But you know, we'll see how it all plays out. I think it could be pretty solid for sure. But
yeah, I would say it'll go along the lines. It wouldn't be like best in slot for every sorceress, like under any circumstance, but no. It's definitely like uses, because it's got the little bit of magic find on it, right? It's got all res on it, you know, so it does make up for some of that stuff you lose off the Spirit. Obviously the block chance, it does have, what has it got, 60 hit recovery, so that's a break point right there.
I believe so, yeah.
So yeah, instead of the 55 and a small charm from Spirit, right, then you got the 60 on the staff. So it's definitely interesting, and I'm definitely interested to see, you know, check the trade sites for what people end up making that, and how godly of items they get there.
Thinking about it now, actually, like, I think it might be best in slot for a hybrid build. Like, for example, you get 3 meteor, 3 frozen orb or something like that. If you want to play like frozen orb or meteor orb, that could be best in slot there, because you can't just have a there's no wand or orb that gives you both cold and fire like that, like the Death's Fathom and the Esports.
Right.
So maybe it could fill some of that hybrid niche.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's I was kind of thinking hybrid too, but maybe it just the possibilities when you get the skills to roll on the staff, or like the skills to be on the base, it can just be kind of crazy. I can remember from experience from Project Diablo 2, when it comes down to anything, whether it was the Project Diablo 2 crafting of like druid helms and stuff, where you could get skills on it too and stuff like that. So the possibilities, and it would be one of those ones where it's so rare, and that's what makes it so valuable. And also, speaking of druid helms and stuff, the way that I can't remember which one it was now, the rune word that goes in the helms that has the fire skill damage on it, that you could probably
Flickering Flame
put into druid helms now.
Yeah, so, Flickering Flame is so good.
Yeah, with the fire plus the fire skills damage, or minus. My memory's not that good. You're getting a good taste of it right now. The plus the fire skills damage, or the minus the enemy fire resistance. I can't remember, but
yeah. So it'll allow us to basically, if you have a fire helmet or something that has like plus the volcano or whatever the staff mod might be, it's going to allow us to have +3 fire skills, and then it's going to have pierce, which is up to 15% or something. And the combination of those two things, basically +6 on a helmet with pierce, that's pretty strong. And then on top of that, it has resist fire aura, which, like, you know, it's currently at least meta to put on Endariel's Visage on your Mercenary. So that's good for your Mercenary, like the resist fire. You don't have to put that Ral rune or whatever in your Andy's helm, and now you could put something else nice in there, like an ED jewel or something.
I definitely never thought of that. Yeah. That crazy fire res thing. Yeah. Okay. What was someone was asking? Oh yeah, your opinions, and this is one I haven't thought about too much. Jeremy asking this up in my chat, talked about Act 3, how you can't really rush through there anymore. Are you on the side of like, oh man, this is the worst thing ever, or are you on the side of, well, that's part of the game, bro?
So I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I don't really care either way. I will say, like, it kind of sucks for newer players, and it doesn't really hurt people that kind of know map reading through Act 3. Yeah, it's gonna slow you down a couple minutes, but like the people that just don't know how to navigate Act 3 and like are just in the jungle and it all looks the same to them, it's like, oof, that's gonna slow you down quite a bit. And you know, the newer players that just want to get to Hell Chaos Sanctuary to, you know, level up their new characters or whatever, it's gonna be much more of a delay for them and a pain in the butt, you know. But yeah, it's kind of a buff to the people that know the game, which I don't necessarily like per se. It's like they want to extend Act 3. Well, Act 1 you can just teleport to Andariel. Like, I feel like there's a little bit of you know, something going on there.
Right,
So,
that is a good point, and I never thought of that. Yeah, it's almost a buff to the people who can read Act 3. Because I'll be honest, Act 3 for me, I've tried to like look at different people's reading tutorials of Act 3, and it's a tough one where it's like, oh, skip here, 3, 4, there's sets of 5 tiles, look at this one, and then it's like, okay, yeah, that's a little harder than turn left.
yeah, exactly, a little bit.
Like, I can turn left, but then you got to actually look at stuff, memorize different tiles.
Right. Yeah, that's gonna definitely slow some people down for sure.
Yeah, that's where.
What do you think about that? You like it or?
I would say I would say I'm right down the middle. I don't like it or dislike it, we'll say, because it doesn't really, I mean, we'll just say for me, for instance, like, it's not going to change much for me because I couldn't read it before anyways. And I mean, if you got rushed through the thing, I usually don't get rushed a lot. I usually end up just like teleporting the whole thing myself, or you know, give myself a telly staff on whatever character I'm doing and telly, recharge, telly, you know. So
Right.
it's just gonna be the same annoying Act 3 that I can't read and take just as long as always, you know, get stuck in the flare jungle or whatever. Or the worst part is when you get all the way to the end and you're like, wait a second, I didn't think I was all the way to the end. Now I got to go back and try to find this place.
Yeah, exactly. The dead ends in the jungle and all that. But that's the thing, is like, if we're doing it more and more, I think like the community overall is going to get more familiar with it, because like that's how I got familiar with Act 3 and learned how to read some of the maps and stuff, is just you do it over and over again, you know. Like, we've done Act 2 so many times. Maggot Lair, you know, the location of that is random, but you understand where the location or what it looks like and all those things. Granted, those are a little bit easier, but you know, with practice, I think we'll be able to, you know, overall as a community, speed up.
Right. Yeah. For most people, speeding up's not going to be, for like the speedrunners. Like, I know you've done some speedrunning and llama and stuff like that. Definitely. Do you think for the speedrunning aspect, because you have a little bit of experience with that, I'm not sure how much, but that it's going to change anything for you? Because when you're speedrunning, I guess you always got to get that stuff anyway. So,
as far as Act 3 goes, nothing really changes in official speedruns. Some like the yeah, I'm pretty sure nothing pretty much changes there.
Right.
As far as that goes, I was thinking about even some of the niche runs, and I'm like, no, I think that still stays the same. So
yeah, obviously you don't get rushed in speedruns. That'd be the epic speedrun right there.
I used to do rushing speedruns. That was fun.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So now they're gonna be longer.
Devastating. So what character do you think you're gonna fire up first tomorrow after the 2.4 patch PTR?
So I have a team. I don't know if you guys know, but like I'm working with max roll, and
Right.
we have kind of an organized attack on this, and I'll be playing the summon druid and the exploding arrow tomorrow. Other than that, there's a secret build I want to try out, and we'll see if it's good. It won't be secret after tomorrow, I believe, but yeah, I'm really excited to try that out and see how it goes. But there's 3 builds I have in mind.
All right,
So.
all right. No slip ups here. You're not gonna accidentally leak what it's gonna.
No, exit. Delete it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not gonna tell anybody I'm running the Bladeson, or yeah, they should come up with something. No.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't really thought about what I'll try tomorrow. Maybe the summon druid does sound interesting, just because there was a bunch of changes to all that stuff. And I wonder if it could ever actually do anything, So I might fire that one up first too, just to bring up a bear and a blah 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 and see what happens,
Yeah. I mean, the way I currently think, just looking at the balance changes in the patch notes, I don't think the summon druid's gonna work the way we've seen in like mods, where you just you teleport around and it's kind of like another version of the summon necromancer. I think right now it might be more like an active summon build, where it's a raven druid, for example. The ravens, they said they improved the AI and the damage is increased by like a ton, and now it gets like, was it 3 or 4 synergies or something? So it's like you're just gonna spam ravens all the time and then have like a couple meat shields per se.
The ravens just going around pecking everything to death.
Exactly. So I think that's gonna actually be the play style, because for those that don't remember, unlike mods, which changed it, the summon druid can't even spawn all the animals at once. So it's just like, you want wolves? Like, which ones? And then do you want a bear? Well, that's what you're gonna get. Like, so it's a little bit, unless they change all of that, I don't know. I don't think the summon druid is gonna work the way that like summon necromancer or we've seen in mods previously. So
right, yeah,
raven druid.
They mentioned, I think in one of the dev streams, Llama brought that up, and I don't really know the logistics. I'm not an expert programmer or anything, but I don't see why it would be that difficult, to have multiple of them up. And I couldn't imagine it being game breaking, because I mean, they didn't, besides being the bear being like a meat shield, they didn't do anything before. So
Right. Raven druid,
that's where it's gonna be.
That's where it's gonna be, maybe. That's my theory.
Was that the one skill that I remember looking at it when I was reading through, and it's like, this skill gets an 800% increase into damage or something? It could have been the one, or 500 or something.
It has just so many buffs across the board that like it'll end up being something like that. But I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think like previously it was like 50 damage per raven, and it's just like, ooh, that's rough.
Right.
So
yeah, that's like a real life raven attacking like Diablo or something. That's like real life damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
basically.
Yeah. So I don't, when unless something crazy comes up in the PTR, I'm probably gonna end up starting the first ladder with just like a regular character. I'm thinking for the initial like ladder 1 launch, because they're not nerfing any of the old skills. I think I'm gonna rock the Javazon off the start, because I'm not going for like a first playthrough speedrun, obviously, because that's not really a good character to do that stuff with. But I just think it'd be interesting, because I've never started Amazon before personally. So
yeah, Amazon start is it's definitely fun. Actually, this last Project Diablo 2 season, that is what I started with for the first time. Not being sorceress, I don't know how many ladders. But I was like, let's do it, and I played Freezing Arrow. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, Javazon's great. You can do cows, arcane, Eldritch Shank. There's stuff to do for sure.
Yeah, just definitely with that.
And then you just get really strong.
Yeah, with that, that's one of them characters where, too, you could just go over to a vendor and buy just any random items, and then walk out into Hell Cows and just melt everything with just the skill points,
Exactly.
So
yep.
Yeah,
and then now with the like synergies and stuff, like they removed Lightning Fury synergy, which like with like Charge Strike, for example, that makes it interesting, like the overall as you level where your damage is going to be out, like capped and stuff like that. But like now you should be able to put points into poison, like for example poison javelin, and maybe have some type of hybrid before you respec until to like full Lightning Fury and stuff.
Right.
So we'll see how that actually.
I'll probably go max dodge and evade. What I'll end up doing there. Huh?
There you go. Passives on.
Yeah, max Velk, and just sit behind my Velk while the Valkyrie takes everything down.
Hey man.
Now that you can spam Velk.
Cooldown.
Yeah,
now.
You can throw that out there and then instantly start throwing jabs. That's I'm thinking with them extra points. I mean, you know, it's like having another mercenary meat shield out there that you don't have to pay 50k gold or 50k gold to revive. So.
Yeah, exactly. keep the money in the bank, dude.
Yeah. There you go. More gambling. Get some sick circlets. Get some 30% faster walk around Amazon. 20 all res type of dealio.
Yep. So that's cool. Jab is on then for your ladder start. My ladder start, still no clue. After the testing, I'll be able to tell you. But, I mean, if I was just gonna go, if I had a group that's like really organized and stuff, probably just go hammered in again. That's just my favorite.
Yeah, and I reserve the right to change my mind at any time, chat. So don't call me out, chat. Right? This guy said Java's
That's
on.
why I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, look at him. He's a Blizzard sorceress again. 9 years in a row, Blizzard sorceress again.
Yep.
So, out of any of the changes, what do you think the throw barb? Did any of those look interesting enough to you that throw barb would be good enough in Diablo 2 Resurrected?
So I don't think throw barb is gonna have a chance per se until they deal with some quantity issue, because double throw, I don't know if you ever played double throw, but you throw some javelins really fast. Okay.
Not in regular Diablo 2. I touched it for a quick second project, but
yeah, but like you throw them out real fast, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you don't have any. So now you're going back to town, and then like okay, I'll go back out there. You kill one pack, it's like, oh, gotta get back to town now. But yeah, that's annoying. And like, it's great that they added the pierce chance on throw mastery. That's great. It's a step in the right direction. And then like additional damage through the synergy, I believe, of double throw itself. And that's good, because I think it needed it. But overall, until they deal with quantity, we'll see.
Yeah, the quantity thing on that, and also the arrows. What was it? I think Dobrunsky, I hopped into his stream for a quick second, just happened to pop into when he was talking about arrow quantity for the Amazons, but it kind of the same thing applies for the throw barb, any of that throw stuff. Yeah, the quantities are like, it's essentially just adds a huge nerf to those skills that already aren't that great, like the Boazon doesn't hold a candle originally to Javazon, and the same thing, throw barb was so nothing, and you could barely get through the game with like a perfect, F lacerator. Not, maybe I'm exaggerating slightly there, but it wasn't like up to snuff compared to a lot of other stuff. So unless they get rid of those like pretty much nerfs to those things in the quantities, yeah, they're always going to be a struggle for sure.
Yeah, so there's no grief option for throw,
Right, that is true. It should almost work the other way, to where like the throw stuff and the bow skills, because they should almost, like you said, they would have to have way more damage, like more damage than even the regular other things, to be for people to like gravitate towards using them.
Right. Yeah, we'll see how that'll plays out. Maybe after we do some testing with throw barb, then like they'll see it's like, oh, it's not enough. Maybe we should deal with quantity or whatever. I mean, they've already shown that they're willing to do changes, so
yeah, willing to do a lot of changes.
One step at a time.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's a good thing from Project Diablo 2 wasn't necessarily like my favorite, but there's definitely some good things in there, like the quantity on throw and arrow stuff. And something that Mr. Lam always brings up a lot too is like a currency tab, which the number of times when I've just been sitting there with a full page of perfect gems like in my shared stash, and it's like, do I want to make a mule for these, or do I have to just like cube them all right now? Like that currency tab of, or whatever you want to call it, where you would just have one rune, stacking runes, or a currency tab I think would be a good addition. It saves time, but it's like wasted time moving all that stuff around, you know?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go about. If they were gonna do this, unless they drastically changed the game like Project Diablo 2 did, where it made sense to do stacked runes and stacked gems and all these different things. Like, it makes sense in Project Diablo 2 because there's so much crafting, there's so much re-rolling of maps, and it's like, okay, well, do you really want to have an inventory full of this, and then a stash full of this, and it's like, just to roll the map, 10 times that didn't get the map that you wanted. So unless they change the game like that, which I hope they don't, personally, I think a currency tab is the way to go as far as stacking would go in a game like this.
Is there, maybe this is just my own, I don't know, insert word for me not knowing what I'm talking about, but is what's really is there really a big difference between like rune stacking or gem stacking and like the currency tab? Because wouldn't it be just the currency tab is just like a picture of this gem with a number next to it of how many are there, kinda, or rune or whatever?
Yeah, so the way I would imagine the difference is like, Project Diablo 2, you have up to 50 stack of runes, let's say Tal runes or whatever, and they can be in your inventory, and you can continue to stack them. Normally, that 50 Tal runes would take up 50 slots.
Right, yeah.
Which you don't got to give. But in a stash, where we're already dealing with basically infinite, not really infinite anymore, but infinite space, we'll just say, it shouldn't matter as much. You're not carrying it with you. It's like, it's in your stash. And like, now that we have shared stash, you can deal with another character and all that stuff. It's like, why does it matter? It's muled, or if it's always going to be coming through the stash.
Right.
So it's either you carry 50 with you, which I think is where maybe an issue would come, or it's like 50 in your stash. I don't think that's a big deal stacking that.
Yeah. Did my mic just go out? Son of a bitch.
I think you're muted. Oh. In there.
Oh, unbelievable. My mic just freaking... What's going on here? Is my mic coming through here?
Man.
As unbelievable. Well,
this happens sometimes.
I'm gonna close and then reopen.
Yeah, close and reopen.
I'm gonna hang up and then call you again.
All right. This thing?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is everything good?
I think we're good again now. I don't know. I think this thing, not that you care that much about how my mic has been working lately, but it accidentally has came out so many times that now it's like super loose,
Dude,
and
I had the same one for like 2.5, 3 years. I know exactly that issue. That wire is so bad. It's just like you touch it and it's like, oh my god, not again.
Yeah, it was fine for like the first year, and then here's where we're at. So might have to invest in a new one of those, huh?
Yeah.
But so yeah, the rune stacking type of thing. Get a road, Mike. Okay, I'm not made of money, Mike. I do want to shout out real quick. I got a super chat from Sledgehammer. Appreciate the support, man. But for the, I guess the question I more meant about the rune stacking as opposed to like, is there any of the mods that maybe I'm unaware of that have like a currency page, the way like Mr. Llama talked about it, as opposed to rune stacking? And what's the difference kind of between rune stacking and currency page, really? Because like if the currency page could hold like unlimited like Tal runes on one stack, it was kind of an, I know Mr. Llama talks about the currency page a lot, but I had never seen one before, whatever you want to call it. So
okay, all right, yeah, so I believe Path of Diablo had one. I never actually saw that one myself, but I believe that had one, and I think it had the infinite potential. Like, maybe not, it might be like capped off or something. But like, that's the advantage there, is just like you can just sync it into this stash tab. Same thing with Path of Exile. I know you mentioned you didn't play that, but they have up to 5,000 of a single currency stackable.
okay.
And you can just dump that in, and it's always in the same spot and location on that tab. So if you want like a specific thing, you can go in, you know exactly where to look on that page.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I guess the only downside I would see with that, and like I said, this is the first time really knowing fully what it is like you said with Project Diablo 2 for crafting anything, like for the currency tab, and you could let me know how those other mods work. Could you pull out, like, if you pulled out 50 of them, it would be 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Is that kind of how it worked?
That's how I would imagine. I didn't actually see it. I'm just aware of it in Path of Diablo.
Okay.
But like I didn't see it myself, and I'm assuming that they just like one at a time, like you said. In Path of Exile, you can literally just grab a quantity, whatever one you want, and then throw it in, pretty much.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I would definitely be on board with something, whatever they decide along those lines, because yeah, the clutter is real around here. Like, I need Maria Kondo to take a look at my shared stash sometimes. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you know, with that the cleaning the house lady.
Oh yep.
Yeah. Does this spark joy with you? Get rid of it.
Right.
It's like, I love that shaft stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. All right. So yeah, any other thoughts you think we haven't touched on the PTR starting tomorrow that you can think of? I
mean, I'm just excited that now every character gets the OP skill static if they want it. Through the Act 3 Mercenary. The Act 3 Mercenary, right. Lightning Mercenary, you have static, and that's just like, are you kidding me? The most broken like damage output thing. I can just run around through normal, and now everybody gets static. Like, we'll see how the AI actually implements that. We also have with the Fire Act 3 Merc, you have Enchant, which is great. Or potentially great. Like, I have this thing that I'm thinking of. It's like, okay, what is the Merc gonna do? Because you can cast Enchant in town. Is your Merc now gonna be that most annoying guy that just spams Oak Sage over and over? Or like, that the clay golem, you leave for 5 seconds and there's like 1,000 clay golems on the ground.
Right, yeah, there's
like,
piles of mud everywhere.
What's gonna happen? is he just gonna spam until you leave? So I think the Act 3 changes are great, but it heavily depends on the AI on that.
Right. I just kind of assumed myself that like the static that I've thought of before, the static, I just kind of assumed it would be like a once out of like 10 casts or something like that. I couldn't see him like a like a 105 105 cast rate static, just like shoom 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 shoom.
Yeah.
Every boss he ever fights automatically, half health or whatever, 3/4 health depending, right. Or whatever,
Yeah, even one static, 2 statics here and there, it's like huge. But like, cause like a crushing blow that's AoE can't miss, So like on my Hammerden, for example, instead of Holy Freeze, now I can just do static. You know, it's like Bale runs. I struggle with the HP of Bale. If I get 1 or 2 statics in there, that's greatly increasing or decreasing the time needed to kill him. So
yeah, that is a great. I haven't thought too much about that there. So yeah, that is a great point. That yeah. Thanks for reminding me about that, bringing that up. I'm kind of interested that Act 5 Mercenary, that they, what, the health is like super high now on that one. So
he's a tanky boy now.
Yeah, that's yeah, the thick boy, you know.
Yeah.
So that might be.
He's gonna have the most. He'll have the most like HP, I believe, and defense, and also they mentioned, I believe, stun and basher's skills. They don't stop at level 80 anymore. I'm not sure what that actually does if they're higher level. Maybe longer stun duration.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But and then
the war cry,
the battle cry,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, something like that. Something screaming.
Once again, I would trust your remembering over mine. So.
Yep.
But that's probably one that I'm gonna definitely try out too. And that and you mentioned the Act 3, that was one that they mentioned would now have the highest inherent resistance to help out. Hopefully that he'll actually stay away, and hopefully the Act 3 Mercenary won't try to be a tank and he'll stay away. So that could kind of save him from, you know, the lightning coming out of beetles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, before I believe he was paper, and now I think we might get at least card stock, so that's
right.
Good.
Yeah, he's like he's like wood that has like fire retardant on it or something, you know, like really thin,
yeah, exactly.
1/8 inch plywood. Like you could still chop it with your hand, but like it's not going to catch on fire.
Right.
But I mean, for being a caster, that's kind of what you're supposed to be, kind of like weak to getting struck or whatever. But yeah, the problem. The AI, which I'm assuming isn't going to get fully updated, was always not that smart, you know, not smart.
No. D2 AI, man, that's one thing that has been dated, for sure.
Oh, right, yeah. There's probably like one little line of code that's like this long in there for the AI of like...
Yeah, see enemy, shoot. But they didn't bother with, like, you know, target acquisition and movement. It's like, that's it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, another change that sounded interesting to me was on Paladin. I think it was any of the offensive auras, the fire, and I think it was probably the Holy Freeze too, or whatever. The damage is based upon, it'll do 100% damage close up, but as you get further away, it'll be less damage based upon the radius distance of the aura. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know if those ever got scaled up, I can't remember offhand, to do enough damage to be worth using Holy Fire Paladin or whatever. But
so I believe, like you said, there is a scaling to it. It's like 100 on like the outer rims, and then as you get closer to the source, it goes up to 200%.
Oh, it works
so
the
it's
opposite
actually
way.
Like,
gotcha.
Yeah, so it's like the closer the enemies are, then the bigger damage,
right,
you know, that you're gonna deal. Weird thing is though, like Sanctuary aura that knocks back enemies is a little bit counterintuitive. I'm not sure how that's gonna actually play out.
What do you mean by that? Maybe I'm not thinking, or I'm not remembering. I don't know necessarily what you're talking about there.
So Sanctuary knocks back, like I believe it's undead monsters, right? And the closer that you get, the more damage that it's gonna, like, you're gonna do. But if they keep getting knocked back, then like, you know, it's like what's going on here?
You got to keep charging in.
So
yeah, but I see what you're saying. Yeah, you'll consistently do less and less damage. Yeah, to them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I read anything about that. That might be one of those auras that I swiped over real quick. That aura don't interest me too much. Keep going here. But that's one that I might have overlooked.
So we'll see how it all plays out. And Sanctuary works really different, I think, from like all the mods and stuff. Like P2, I think it's magic damage, and LOD or D2R. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, which they always do. It's they bring the physical damage down to, or physical resistance down to 0, so that's interesting, you know. But
Gotcha. Yeah, one change I think is pretty cool too with barbarian. It was Berserk. They changed the synergy to battle orders. So that's
Yes.
one that where battle orders is already one that most people max out, or not everybody, but you know what I mean, that like a lot of people max out already. So then you won't have to, there'll be 20 points to play with that you're not putting into the synergy of what it was. I guess I won't go ahead and make myself look like a fool saying the wrong one here, but whatever the synergy was before that, they changed it to battle orders, so you got 20 extra points to do something with.
yeah, I believe it was shout, and I think you couldn't. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I don't think you could put a ton of points into battle orders previously with your, best in slot Berserker or Magic Find setup, because it had to go elsewhere with synergies and things like that. And that was one thing that the Berserk Barb, once you go full Magic Find, does struggle with, is survivability a bit. Granted, it's the best Magic Finder in the game as far as players 1 is concerned.
Yeah, like unique hunting.
Yeah, unique hunting and stuff like that. But like, it's getting a buff now because, well, instead of shout, now you're getting battle orders. So that's a cool change to see.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive life pool on like Berserker Barbs sense, and it kind of makes sense since, well, when you Berserk, your defense like goes away, so you can get hit a lot. So it does kind of make sense that if you're, it almost like eliminates part of that negative to using Berserk for sure, if you counteract it with its own synergy.
Right. Yeah,
So.
synergy was shout, which grants defense previously.
Yeah.
I was like, nice.
Yeah. But before, yeah, it's almost like, and I'm fine with it. I'm cool with the change to battle orders, but it's almost like you do the complete opposite from something completely like nonsense synergy to one that's like a complete boost synergy on top of a regular help.
Right.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's one I'm kind of interested on too. If Berserk Barb could be used more than just like the end game best magic finder, if it could be used as like an actual skill while regularly playing the game, I guess it still lacks the AoE for sure though, but
yeah, that's one thing that's we'll see. They didn't say anything about Whirlwind as far as I know. So
I did see some people
maybe if we
complain
complain
about not
enough.
seeing anything about a whirlwind buff on there. Yeah.
yeah, maybe we need to complain a little bit more.
Hey, that's my
We'll
favorite.
see.
That's my favorite thing to do right there. Let's go.
But Grimward, you see the changes to the Grimward that they did?
I did, but I can't remember offhand. Re-enlighten me.
So Grimward, now it said with the phrasing, I believe previously, it was increased damage. When you have Grimward applied, it also slows them and it increases the damage to them. So that's
Yeah.
really strong. Really strong. Now, it didn't say physical damage, which I'm assuming is going to be physical damage, but with the wording very specifically, and the fact that they mentioned physical damage in other places throughout the post, there is technically the possibility, I don't think it's high, but the possibility of it's just damage. Like magic, physical, poison, cold, fire, but that would be like super OP in my eyes. It's like having all sources of damage just increase through Grimward. But
Yeah, I would assume that they probably would have to go, or not have to, but that they would go physical since it's, on the barbarian or whatever. But yeah, that is, now that you mention it, I do remember looking at that. And yeah, that would, you're going to see build guides coming out where it's like max Grimward. Make sure you guys max the Grimward out, because you're increasing your damage X%, blah, blah, blah.
right. And then on top of that, as like a synergy with Fine Potion, so we might be maxing out Fine Potion with that build. So,
Fine potion.
It's yeah, dude. You want a potion? There you go. But that's the one thing though with Grimward, is like, as good as it could be, it still doesn't work with undead, I believe. So that's a problem. It's like, okay, cool, I killed a bunch of monsters and all of them are undead, so I can't use this buff.
Okay.
So it would be cool to see that added to like every monster instead of just all corpses maybe.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that. That was always Grimward didn't work with undead. I was never an avid Grimward user, so
Yeah, I know, it's a niche thing that is like whatever, right? But
yeah.
I wouldn't call myself an avid Grimward user either, so but yeah, little things you pick up on over the years, right?
Right, yeah, that's about to be my next build guide. The D2 classic Grimward builds, right? Max Grimward, max fine right. Potion, max increased stamina.
Dang, man.
How can you waste as many points as possible? I made a character where nothing works.
That's right. Max out throwing mastery and use frenzy.
That's hilarious.
There you go, dude.
Nice. So what I do want to shout out real quick is if anyone doesn't know, at the very top of the description for the chat here, I did put a link to BT's his YouTube and to his Twitch. So make sure you give him a sub and a follow on either, if you're a Twitcher, go over. They call people who watch stuff on Twitch Twitchers, right? Isn't that how it goes? And
oh yeah, I mean I Twitch sometimes.
So give him a follow on Twitch and give him a sub on YouTube. Make sure everybody in chat does that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. No problem. But for coming on, I give you at least a little shout out, right? A little shout out.
Something, right?
Something. Yeah, because I only gave you $1,000 to come on the podcast. So.
Don't tell people about that.
There's the next video. Someone's coming out like, leak. Sweet Phil's paying everybody.
Leak.
Did he slip up?
Oh my god.
I'll make a video by myself. But so yeah, let's see. Are there any changes you think that you've seen in the PTR that maybe you are not excited about? That you're like, man, they really hope that they don't end up doing that.
Okay, so there's one that's like a little bit frightening to me. I don't know. I mean, everything can be fine until we test it. I don't know, but that is something that they also didn't add until after we covered the patch notes and saw it, which is the werewolf and werebear now has their attack speed based on like when they're in human form or something like that, instead of just weapon IS. Like that is that's different. That's very different. That means like potentially no more 6-socket, shaded phase blades for starting and random stuff like that. But that wasn't there originally on the patch notes when it came out. And then like, I don't know, 8 hours later, they made an edit and that was on there. And I'm like, oh,
okay. Yeah, I didn't.
That's a big change. So.
I didn't notice that for sure. Yeah, I didn't see the after the edit or whatever. And also, I wouldn't have. I don't really fully grasp, I guess, the gravity of how much that change really is. You know what I mean? Because that's another one where it's not like a character that people play a lot.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it honestly could be a good thing too. Like, I'm just concerned because I'm stuck in my old ways. Played this game's out 20 years and played it my whole life basically. So
yeah, and there's been a lot of years where nothing has changed. So that's what it kind of gets me nervous too. Yeah, that there's been so many years. You love the game, and like when something's great, it's like, are you gonna make it more great? Like the odds of there's like this much room up here for things to get better, and there's this much room down here for things to go wrong. That's
exactly
so.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, how would you say in your your more knowledge than I do, how much does that change between the way that the when you're transformed into the wolf or the bear, changing the IS from strictly weapon to human form?
So that's the thing where I'm saying is like we'd have to do some testing first, but potentially, depending on how it works, it could be better. It could be, and that would be like say like weapons that don't have very much weapon attack speed but would be good for damage, like maybe cranium basher or something. Like I can't think of any weapon right now that would be like crazy damage. All right, we'll say like I can't think right. Whatever. But basically, if you could have a weapon that does big damage and then have attack speed on other slots, that means now that you can just wreck face with more weapons. It kind of opens up the weapon arsenal.
Okay,
to
yeah.
you, basically.
So maybe it's
So
like
that would be
what
a
obedience
good
doesn't
thing.
have any IS on it, but like it has 370 enhanced damage, kind of deal like that.
Yeah. You throw on like gloves with IS, maybe a High Lords, you know, some other IS, maybe treachery for budget and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
For 45 IS. If that works, then this could be a good thing. So
Yeah,
we'll trust them on this one, and we'll see how it plays out. But
that sounds pretty cool to me, to be honest. And I wonder, and I wouldn't know what the breakpoint, like IS breakpoints have always been kind of something I haven't really concentrated a lot on. But yeah, if you had that crazy increased attack speed on your weapon, and then you got even more on your gloves, and you got, you know, who knows where else you got a High Lords on you. You know, like you said, you get an IS even higher than when you had all the IS from the item before. So
yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. Like I said, so, but that's the one. When you ask, like, is there something that concerns you or whatever? It's like, yeah, that's a little concerning because it's just changing such a big mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in my limited transform druid or whatever you call it, the bear and the werewolf, that I think that sounds like a pretty good change in my opinion. Just gives more opportunity to more weapons, and then you don't have to, like you said, just all the shell runes in a phase blade just to get some crazy increased attack speed. You can actually use, I mean, not that that's not a cool weapon, I guess, but like, you know, something that seems
Right.
better.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Other things that concern, it's just like the Act 3 Mercenary, like I said before, it's just the AI of things just overall through D2.
Yeah, I'm assuming that the AI, I don't think they're really changing anything with the AI, right? Like it's still supposed to be dumb, right?
Yeah, I think most of it's supposed to underperform, I think.
Yeah, they're going to keep that nerfed in that way, that it's still going to stay like that. Gotcha. Have you heard anything about like, have they announced a time for the PTR yet tomorrow? I haven't heard nothing, but I feel like it should have.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
The 25th.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I know.
I didn't know if there was like if there was a thing that you'd seen posted or anything. I'm not asking for inside knowledge or anything. I don't know, but if there was anything posted that you had seen where it was like, oh, the servers are going to be down at noon tomorrow or whatever.
I would love for it to be announced as well. Like, honestly, the time is very important for people that, you know, do this as a job. Like, yeah, that they're like, hey man, when do I go in for work? You know, everybody in chat that, you know, they go into work every day. Imagine you're like, hey, I'm gonna go into work tomorrow. Do you know what time? No. Like that's a lot of pressure that's added on you. You have to find out when you have to go to work.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you got to be ready when it's time to go. It's being on call, you know. So.
Right. Yeah.
Just like, oof.
Yeah. Should I like maybe call in a favor, see if someone can pick my daughter up from school because it's right at the time when she gets out, or is it like?
Exactly. So would love some times on that, Blizzard. If you hear us right now.
Yeah. Speaking of times making me nervous, the whenever the first ladder is, that time's starting to get me real nervous. And I'm just gonna throw out like a personal story here. I got married a couple months ago, and we haven't done our honeymoon yet. So we got a honeymoon coming up kind of the beginning of February, and I'm seeing when the PTR is, and I'm like, not that I'm like, oh no about the honeymoon, but it's like, oh no, like, am I gonna be like in Hawaii when they drop the, you know, like I can't be like, hey honey, I'm not going snorkeling with you. I'm gonna buy a $2,000 laptop so I can run Diablo 2 Resurrected in the hotel.
Well, I mean, hey man, if you're in Hawaii, I think all problems like can just fade away there at that point.
First world problems here. First world problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I gonna play video games, or am I gonna be in Hawaii and dolphins or something?
But I fully understand where you're coming from, because I'm planning on moving soon, so it's like, when is this gonna happen? It depends on the ladder reset and
and
you know, all that.
And I totally expect them not to have the date and time right now announced or anything. But yeah, that's just a personal worry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
personal
exactly.
worry.
I get that.
Yeah, so
So,
yeah, I got
but yeah, I mean,
Mike King over here. He's voting for playing video games on the beach. So instead of a green screen behind me, there's gonna be waves crashing, whales jumping and stuff in the background.
that sounds pretty sick.
Get the
man.
little plug-in adapter thing for the internet.
Right. Yep, that sounds pretty sick.
Solid investment. Well, if I did that, I could probably write the whole vacation off, right?
That's right. Now you can, yeah,
Business
for
investment.
taxes, man. That's fantastic. Business investment.
There you go.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, anything else in the PTR that sparks your interest?
Kind of does with the some of the set changes, I guess, where it was, I don't know, they're changing some of the set bonuses. It didn't look like, if I remember correctly here, they aren't changing any of the items, but the set bonuses are changing, and also you can upgrade. Maybe I'm wondering if any of the lower level stuff, I think isn't it like, and I don't remember any of the bonuses on the stuff because you never really paid attention because you couldn't upgrade it. But like, isn't it like the Arctic set has like 300% enhanced damage or something like that? Because it's like, for whatever reason, they decided to do that one with a percent instead of a total amount of defense, right?
I'm not 100% on the sets either because of the same reasons you said. But I know that some of them will be decent to use. For example, like the transition phase, Death Sash, that's got cannot be frozen on it.
Right.
Once you up that, it's got 4 rows. That's like, I'll take that. And the 2-piece death is very good. So for melee, 30 IS, 15 all res, I think, lifesteal cannot be frozen. Like, that's pretty sick.
Okay, yeah, definitely early on. I didn't know offhand that the death had the 2-piece bonuses for that or whatever, but yeah, the cannot be frozen, like, especially early on, before you're not gonna have a Ravenfrost or the Trang's belt or any of that other stuff. So yeah, an upgraded death belt for the first like week of ladder was probably gonna be like going for an Isrune or something, huh?
Maybe. I don't know about that one, but maybe. But another weapon would be like Elder's weapon. You could up that too. Maybe get some little bit more damage off that one. And Juanin's Justice is something that I was talking to Mac with, and he was like, yeah, Juanin's could be sick maybe for like Fury Druid or something early on. It's like, yeah, upgrade. How cool would it be to just see, a set Colossus Volge, because, it goes from Bill, I believe, to Colossus Volge.
Right, so. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. That I don't remember none of them sets because they were so like unusable before. What does that one do? Does that have a high enhanced damage? And real quick, yeah, Mac was up in the chat over here. What's going on, Mac? And Kavath over here too. What's up, guys?
What up, Mac?
But yeah, is it like 250 enhanced damage or something on the Hawaii?
Like that. I think it's like,
or whatever it is.
Yeah, Hawaiian's Justice.
Yeah. Jeez, don't get me started on pronouncing words, man. I didn't realize.
I know, Diablo 2 is impossible.
Well, it's because the game never speaks, so it never told you how to say the word. So growing up, I'm like, I can't think of the one that I'm notorious here on is Ogre. I don't know why Ogre.
Ogre?
Yeah, it's Ogre, but that's like, but is ER, not RE. I don't know why in my head, I knew the word. I must have just been so incompetent my entire life. I couldn't put it together. I don't know. But now it's like a channel, what do you call it, gimmick or whatever. Now I just.
Yeah, you gotta give yourself some credit. I mean, this game's been out for what, 20 years or so? I mean, so
yeah, the worst part is I wasn't that young when it came out. Like I was like 13 or something. Like I should have known.
I'm trying to give you something here to help you out. He's throwing himself under the bus.
No, yeah,
all right, I can't help you.
I think it's hilarious. Yeah, I'm one of those guys that like makes themselves look like idiots on purpose to like, I'm one of them guys that would like, to punish his daughter, I'd wear a dress when I dropped her off at school or something,
Oh my god.
That's go.
Great. We need people like that in the world. Okay.
Yeah, you need all kinds. Yeah,
that's great.
It don't hurt nobody.
Awesome.
But yeah, so many things I pronounced wrong. But yeah, Hawaiian. Someone wrote it into the chat. Top secret, Hawaiians. So I guess maybe
Hawaiians.
Wainans.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're close enough. Close enough.
Juanins, I thought. But,
Juanins, Wainans.
Who knows?
Close
I don't
enough.
think they know either, right? I'm gonna tell you that.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. For
Well, I used to say bear rune, for example, like bear rune instead of burr rune. Like,
Bear rune. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's like sir. I know a guy that used to say tur rune. I mean, it's TIR, so tur rune, I guess.
Maybe do I say Turun? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I know I would say I'd say instead of like shale, Shael, like Shael rune, Shael. I mean, that's literally what if there was a hyphen maybe, but that's what I went with when I was a kid, and it's sticking tight up here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's see for.
And then
go-
AMN is one person. Just one more. It's like AMN. I've heard someone was like, "Why would you say AMN? Like what?"
like it's an acronym, yeah, or
Yeah,
what do
I
you
know.
call it? Yeah. So back to the set stuff. I think let's see what some others interesting stuff that could happen with it, because when you're upgrading everything, like the towel set would get a little bit better with upgrading. You can upgrade all the pieces. The helmet get a little more defense here, right? So the armor obviously ain't going
if
up
you want
anywhere, but
defense.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
defense is a thing, you know. So they're going to be upgrading that stuff.
Numbers do change. That is true. With defense, that is true.
Don't upgrade your towel stuff, says BTNeaderthal. That's gonna be show pieces right there. Show pieces.
That's right. Exactly.
Let's see. You think there's any others you can think offhand that would be beneficial to upgrade or whatever?
Aldur's boots, maybe for Kixins. Maybe IK boots, Nat boots, stuff like that for Kixins.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't think
But
offhand if there's
I don't
any
know,
like
man.
weapons maybe. Because yeah, like they were so uncommonly used, it's hard to like place which ones they would be. There's a little mace for the Dragoon set, but I can't remember Dragoons. I can't remember what that one's pronounced either, but it's got a bunch of increased attack speed on it.
Yeah. Dangoons like something. Touch. I will just say touch. No, that's from like Death's Touch.
I stuck that in on a Zealer one time in a it was just players one game, so nothing crazy, but I was walking around doing a little bit with that just because of the increased attack speed and when you got crushing blow, you know. So
Right. Exactly. That's not bad.
good budget one on if you accidentally find it off your Andario playthrough.
You know, something that's interesting is the Infernal set, right? I was talking to Mac about this as well the other day, and why the heck is everything built for, you know, a poison dagger build, and then the set item is a wand? Like, what are they doing there? You know, the Infernal set is like they had two different people working on the same job and were like, oh yeah, Necro uses a wand. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
Yeah,
this
maybe.
is supposed to be poison dagger.
Maybe, yeah. I don't. I'm not too familiar with the set besides like seeing it and trying to collect it for the Holy Grail. But yeah, there's definitely some pieces. If you say the Infernals like that, kind of like how the helmet is for the tallest set, where it's like this has nothing to do with a sorceress. This helmet, nothing here. Like,
Right. Yeah. So bad.
you wonder if they were like, oh
Put
man,
it on the
I'm
Mercenary. It's doing better.
right, yeah. If someone's just swamped and they're like, hey, intern Kimmy, can you get this helmet done for this sorceress? And they're, you know, I'm on it, boss.
Yeah. They're like, what? Just close your eyes, spin the wheel, throw it on the helmet. You know.
There you go. Yeah, like this helmet looks pretty mean. You probably need it for a melee character. You're like, no, it was for a sorceress. What are you doing?
Right. Exactly.
That's how some of the
Ship it. All good.
yeah, ship it. We're out of time here. Get the game out. That's kind of what I was thinking about the PTR builds for the first PTR. It kind of looked like some of them were like, all right, you take 3, you take 3, and you take 3, and you take 3, and a couple people dished it off to like, because obviously the head people wouldn't have time to do everything themselves anyway, so I'm sure that's kind of how it is. But some of them were like spot on, like this build's sick. Other ones are like, all this gear's got to go.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, yeah, the theme of everything in the game, I feel like, so Diablo 2 overall, like, it's a good game for sure. We all know that. We wouldn't be here if we didn't believe that. But I think there are places to improve on it. Like, I don't think it's balanced at all. Like, I don't think this game's balanced. Look at the Hammerton. Look at the Javazon. It's like you throw it on players 8 and it's like things still die in one shot, full screen. Like, what?
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
It's kind of got its own. It's not balanced, but yeah, it has its own personality. It's got. I don't even know what the wording to describe it. Like, it's been the way it is for so long, and we love the game that we kind of like accept the way things are.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, the Iceman over here says "Bur mal bur if."
Yeah.
So that was a pretty funny one. Yeah.
That was pretty great.
Shout
and
out,
then the
shout
token
out Iceman, by
guy,
the way.
or the token guy, or the new ice song that they gave you after that was "Ith" is the new "ist" or something like that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that they have a sense of humor with that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, sense of humor is the way you got to go when you. I'm not gonna say they embarrass themselves, but I'm kind of a pro on embarrassing myself, so I guess I can say it. That was a little embarrassing on themselves, but yeah, you got to roll with a sense of humor. You just got to play with it,
Right.
keep it going, you know. So
Right.
so let's see. Anything else you can think of for the 2.4 PTR you wanted to touch on?
Bladeson. That thing looks like it's gonna wreck face. Honestly.
Okay, yeah, I know
Like-
they talked about. I'm not too sure how the changes are going to affect it. What are your opinions, or what do you view the changes? How obviously you think it's going to be pretty good from what you just said.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty strong. Like, they're adding synergies to each one of the blade skills, and individually buffing each one of them by like pretty decent amounts. And like, as far as like level scaling and weapon damage and all that stuff, like there's so many different things that they're going to be upping. Someone mentioned earlier, I don't know if the math is right, but like 400% damage or something on that. Like, that's pretty strong if you ask me overall. But we'll see how it all plays out. It would be cool to see Bladeson working. And then I believe they like cut the wind up time in half, I think, for Blade Fury or something like that. So seeing physical trap assassin, aka Bladeson, working would be really, really cool. So
Yeah, that definitely sounds cool to me too. Yeah, that's one that I'm definitely gonna try for sure. Probably not my first one there, but it's so just ever used by anyone. You know, it was one of them skills that I've never really seen anyone do, except for like oh, I'm gonna do a crazy speed run here with this thing. You know, like every once in a while you'd see Ryu go off do a poison dagger necro or something. One of those crazy type of speed runs. Somebody would touch that and
Right.
try to do something crazy, but that's like the only time.
yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah. Oh, the mercenary change, having them all just be the same level as you now, that's so much better than just some RNG being like, I gotta get a mercenary and he's way too low of a level, even though I'm like this level. So that'll be cool.
yeah, before was it? I mean, they were always kind of close to you, right? Were they within 3 or 4 levels or something? They would be before.
I think it was like as far as like 5, maybe 6
Yeah.
levels, which is like brutal once you're leveling up. Like,
Yeah, there were
It's like,
times
man.
I can remember when I would like look at. I'm just like, is this a joke right now? And I'd leave the game and create another game, trying to find one closer
Uninstall.
levels.
Screw this game, I'm done.
Right.
Yep.
So we got one comment over here. I'll bring. Ask BT when he did that world record G rush. The person commenting was in that game over here, Sleeper Cell.
Really? You were in that game, huh? When did I do that? Probably like 3.5 years ago is my guess. It was like just over 20 minutes to do all the way from fresh rush like to hell, act 4, I believe, or like killing Diablo in hell. Not bad. 20 minutes, not bad.
20 minutes, game over. There you go.
Yeah. So, but now I don't know, man. Maybe the best you could do is like 25 26, 27 minutes if you're lucky. But we'll see how it goes with the Act 3 stuff.
Right. Yeah, with your reading knowledge or whatever, yeah, it wouldn't be. I was thinking like, yeah, for me personally, Act 1's usually like 20 minutes. So
yeah, no, it's 20 minutes, the same thing.
Yeah. So, all right, let's see. Oh yeah, I want to give a shout out to Sledgehammer became a Slayer on Sweet Phil Slayer ship. Appreciate the channel membership, fella.
Slayer, he said.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I
awesome.
went with. That's kind of a funny story, actually. I could, when I first started my channel, I actually went with, like, I wanted to pick something that was interesting that I liked or whatever, kind of along that lines. With the, I used to go with, you know, how you always do, like, you beasts. I didn't know that you did that at the time. I actually like branded my channel as like beast stuff. And then I watched some of your streams and was watching some of your videos, and I was like, "Oh no! I just accidentally copyrighted BT." And then that was when I was on Twitch at first when I first streamed. Now I stream on YouTube, but and I was like, "No!" And I deleted all that
take
stuff.
Take them down, boys.
Yeah. Yeah. No. But it was just funny, like when I started out that kind of happened, you know. It's obviously a common word, I guess, but yeah, now we're the Slayers.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty awesome. I'll take it.
So
yeah, that transitions into to Halo. If you ever play Halo, I don't know if you played Halo before. But,
I played Halo up until ODST, and then I was kind of like, you know, 1, 2, 3 or whatever. But then it kind of drifted off, and I got into more Fallout and Elder Scrolls and stuff.
Good time to stop.
yeah. That the ODST, I was like, I don't know, because Halo 1 was crazy, carrying around a giant TV in the back of my car to friends' houses, and then Halo 2, when I would go to friends' houses, and I was the only one that had high-speed internet at the time, and they would be like, where is he at? What is he doing? Like, how did I just drop? Snowpro up in my chat will attest to this one. Just when you noob combo people or death combo, whichever one you want to call it, just drop them, and they didn't even know that existed and stuff. So
right. It's such good times, man. System links and stuff like that.
Yeah. Man. Super bouncing at LAN parties, and they're like, what is this? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
Just crouch under that window and then jump to the left, and boom, you're done.
That's right. Oh man, I love that. But that's what reminds me of when you say Slayer.
Oh yeah.
Slayer. You know,
that is actually funny. For some of my countdowns, I thought about doing that when you'd be like, it'd be like the voice of that announcer. Sometimes I can mimic it pretty good. Of course, if I did it right now, it wouldn't be at all, you know. But it'd be like, you know, number 1, number 2. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's pretty
man.
close, right?
That's pretty good, dude. Double kill.
Yeah. Yeah, those first-person shooters are kind of, you know, I was like Diablo 2, and then, you know, I went into first-person shooters, and then I kind of more recently came back to Diablo 2 more so. Kind of around the Diablo 3 time is when I got into first-person shooters, so.
Yeah, it's a good time for that. Some would say, for sure.
I played about a month of Diablo 3, and I was like, I am done with this.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, that's
cool though that you play FPS. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I have like 15 years of experience in that, and I'm only 25, so that tells you something.
Okay, you're only 25 years old. Okay, I thought you were a little bit older. That's not a bad thing or anything.
I'm looking that old, huh?
No. It's when people play Diablo 2, you just assume that they're older, you know.
Right.
So, you know, I assume that people are like this old enough to be all bald and stuff. So.
I mean, I'm getting some white hairs now. That was the first time, honestly, prior to D2R, man, prepping all this max roll work and stuff. I look in the mirror one day, I'm like, oh god, like there's some white hairs coming in.
Nice. I'd be peppered up there, but now I'll never look old. I'll just look the same for the next until I get too many wrinkles going on. The little perk to you save money on shampoo, haircuts, and you don't age for like between like going bald and like 45. So
hey, there you go, man. You got it all planned out now.
Yeah, gotta look at the positives, right?
That's right.
So yeah, and the one thing about first-person shooters too, touch on that again, is that it's so hard to stay good enough to compete with the other people that play like on Xbox Live and stuff, because I was an Xbox player, and
Same here, dude.
man,
Same here.
people were so freaking good. And like, if you didn't play like 6 hours a day, all of a sudden you're like 6 and 15 every game or something in a team deathmatch. Like, you just can't even compete. They're, you know, you're running and all of a sudden a C4 goes flying over the wall, and they're like, or like they're
Call of Duty, man. Let's go. You make all the references.
Yeah, you make the or you start the game, you run 3 steps and you blow up, and then you watch the kill cam, and the guy like spawns, takes 3 steps back, look at the corner of this building, turns a little bit left and shoots a noob tube, and it just lands right on your spawn.
Yeah, dude. Terrible. But yeah, I absolutely love FPS and Call of Duty back in the day as well. So, but yeah, 100%. If you don't stay, you know, top notch or on your game, like, yeah, you do have those 6 and 15 games if you're not careful. So
yeah. So did you play Modern Warfare 2 that much?
Yes, that was one I played a lot.
Yeah, same here.
And one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, that was I did this. You know how when you would you'd click on someone's, I think, player card or whatever you call it, you could see what they got the most kills with, you know, and you'd be like, oh, you noob, all you do is you got 50,000 kills with the FAMAS, and your next best weapon is like this weapon, and you have like 100 kills with it. Like, what a noob. Me and a couple of my buddies and some other people we met online would play together all the time, and they're probably way better than I was. I was pretty good. My 2 high weapons, I did this on purpose to, like, you know, so people could never do that to me, was the Enfield, and the Master Key was number 2. And that's,
oh my gosh,
people would jump in there like
Master Key.
Yeah, it was the undergun.
Was that the shotgun?
It was the undergun attachment for your gun.
Oh my god, that thing was so bad.
But when you pulled it out at the right time, people would see you had like, oh, he's got this crappy gun. They'd charge in on you, and all of a sudden you'd be like,
yeah, dude, you blow them away just like that.
Yeah, so that was my top 2: the Enfield and the Master Key. And the Enfield wasn't that great of a gun either, so it's kind of funny because just people. It would be the same thing, you know, if you only used the 3-round burst gun or whatever the other ones were in there, you know, everyone had the same guns.
Yeah, I was a sweaty tryhard as far as all that stuff goes. You know, as people know me, when I'm playing Diablo 2 as the hammered in and pushing for some objective, I'm definitely tryhard in that as well. But you know, I'll be the one that's playing with the TAR 21, the ACR, the, you know, UMP 45 and stuff like that.
Right.
All the try-hard guns. So
yeah, a lot of the assault rifles you could get away with them, but plus, like I mentioned, my I played with some people that were freaking amazing, like KD ratios of like 5, like their average like lifetime. You know, they would jump into games solo, awesome, random by themselves, get plugged into the middle of a game, and like irk out a win and be like 22-2, you know, type of deals. Like going into games, they'd be like, who's getting a nuke in this game? Let's go, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I got a bunch of nukes, but like there was only one game I tried to get double nuke on like terminal, and I ended up getting a double nuke, which basically is just, you know, you get your 25 kills, then you die.
Just don't use it,
and then you get your 25 kills again. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I doubt I ever did that. I only got a couple of nukes, so I wasn't. I could never play conservatively enough. It's another reason why I could never do hardcore on Diablo 2. Like, I'm too like YOLO and in like Leroy Jenkins style.
Let's go.
Yeah. So that's what I probably die like 4 times every stream playing Diablo 2, just because I'm like, got my tele staff on my budget necromancer, and I teleporting around and just land right onto Sace or something, get dropped instantly.
That's right. It's like, oops.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of people who are veterans to my stream. They know it's gonna happen. They wait for it and drop the lulls when I go down.
Yeah, dude. Chat's always there for that. It's like, oh, they're waiting all day for you to make that mistake.
I wouldn't have it any other way. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, dude, for sure. For sure.
So, alrighty, was there anything else you wanted to touch on here? You got any ideas?
I was actually kind of curious. How long you been doing the content creation stuff?
I believe it's been what year is it now? I'm getting too old here.
I don't know.
It's
man,
either been 2 years or
something like
3 years. I originally started with, it was just like Christmas break. I had a weekend where I think the kids and the girlfriend at the time were gone, and I was just like, you know what? I'll just do it, whatever. You know, like I was kind of at the point where I was like, what? I still like playing this game, but I want to find some way to like learn something, not just literally lighting my time on fire, you know, like, because you don't, so many things, whether growing up like I'm partying and drinking or like playing video games, I'm not literally accomplishing anything, just nothing, not even a 1% boost to a knowledge in a certain area or anything. I'm at work just bored out of my mind all day. I'm doing this, just wasting time. So I was trying to, like, at work, I would listen to podcasts, trying to learn stuff. I would, you know, just listen to different videos and stuff. When I was at home, I'd try to learn new stuff. And then I was like, yeah, you know, maybe I could, you know, I learned this little OBS, you know, how to set that up. Okay, I learned, oh, maybe I can learn how to do cut videos. I'll learn a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And that's kind of how it happened. I wanted to just try to find something where I could at least feel like I was accomplishing something with my time, you know?
Yeah, that's really cool, honestly. That's a really good answer.
Yeah. And especially with because I'm older, I'm like 35, so you know, I was kind of working in a factory too, like, man, where am I going with this? Not that I was like, I'm gonna make this happen, but if you never try and if you never do anything, nothing will ever happen. So I figured, whatever, I'll click a few videos out there. What if I get lucky, you know?
Right, why not? Why not, you know? I did the manufacturing as well, actually, metalworking and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I remember talking, you said you were CNC something, right?
Yeah. CNC operator, also worked with some mills and stuff like that, but yeah, that was something. You know,
right.
It's like, I definitely wouldn't want that forever. And that's why I'm here now. So it's like, I did that for 3.5 years, and I was like, all right, get me out of here.
Yeah, I did the same thing, sort of like working in factories, but I did it for 15 year almost. So oof. Yeah, that's how it felt too.
You get it. You know the grind, dude.
Yeah, that was like I just like accepted that life was that way, you know, like bored out of my mind every day. I got really good at just like zoning out, real good at it.
Yeah, man. Thank God, dude, one of my friends at the time, coworkers, he quit, and he told me, because we worked together for like a couple of years or something, and he quit, and he was like, dude, you gotta get out of there. I'm like, what do you mean, man? I'm a loyal worker. I do my stuff every day. Like, you gotta get out of there. And I stayed for one more year, but when I left, I started doing this. I'm like, you were so right. I had to get out of there. So, but,
yeah. And from my perspective too, having a daughter now, a young daughter, being able to take her to school and pick her up and do stuff, like shifting when I do things around my family instead of the other way around, instead of sacrificing my family in order to get some of these metal tubes to this random company, you know, like.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah, that's huge, man. Putting your own life and priority first, like, that's super big.
Yeah, for sure. And not to mention with my my job, it was like no healthcare, no retirement.
Yeah.
2 weeks of vacation after 5 years. Like, people are like, how'd you leave that? And I was like, it wasn't that hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like they didn't know that aspect of it, that there was no benefits of any kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it wasn't that hard because and they're like, oh.
Yeah, dude. I was just a, you know, I mean, people could still call me a kid or whatever, but I mean, I was just a kid definitely back then. You know, 16, 18 or whatever, and you know, I did good work. I like really tried to, you know, build my reputation and stuff like that. And then the day I told my boss I wanted to leave, he was trying to give me a massive raise. So I was like, I was being taken advantage of like the whole time, like, you know, and I was like, dang, man, that's how it is. Like, so I was just like, I'm never talking to them again. You know?
Right. Yeah, mine was kind of like actually about a year before I had left my job. My boss, I asked for a raise, and I got a little raise, like maybe 5%, and the owner of the company told me, this is the most money that anyone makes doing this job anywhere else, like, so don't ask me for another raise, is what he told. So I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about having your own business or being a content creator, or whatever you're doing. Like, if you're in charge, like, yes, there is no minimum wage, and that's can be a little bit scary. But there's also no maximum wage. When you're working for somebody else, there is a maximum wage that you are going to make eventually. You will cap out. There is the minimum wage, you know, so there's like the trade-offs there. But that's the great thing about, you know, doing your own thing is, it's like, well, it could go as far as the sky wants it to go.
Right. So that's a pretty good question. I'll throw the same thing back to you because I'm not really sure. How long, you said you've been streaming for like way longer than I have, probably like 6 or 8 years, you said, right?
Yeah, like 6 years kind of. I did it full time for a bit, then went to like part time, took a couple months off, and then back to part time. And then in November of 20, yeah. So when PD2 came out, that's when I'm like, all right, I can use this, and I'm going full time again. And I've been full time ever since. So, and it's worked out really well because then they announced D2R.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's just like, okay, well, we're here now. Became a Blizzard partner and all that stuff, and it's just like really cool to have all these things.
Yeah,
happening,
the Blizzard partner thing. Yeah, congratulations on that. That's pretty wicked for sure. Yeah, pretty
Thanks,
wicked
man.
for sure. What was I just had something super interesting to ask, and then it just slipped my mind. Good job, Phil.
It's all good. I mean, I was talking about the
that's
November, and
that's what I was gonna say. Like, yeah, I personally, I would say the way I look at doing this stuff too is that not even necessarily like I'm a full-time doing this stuff. Because I worked full-time, and now I just consider it where I'm like a 75% content creator, you know what I mean? Just because I prioritize so much more time with my daughter, and then like trying to stay healthier and stuff has became way more important to me. Well, now that I can, you know, it was just impossible to go to the gym after work, you know, like your legs hurt from just standing still all day, and like
concrete.
Yeah, oh for sure. Yeah. Steel toe boots on concrete, you know. They can only get so comfortable. But yeah, like being able to go to the gym more now. My family has a history of like barely making it to 60, so you know I got to kind of work on that, you know. So it's like
bringing up the average.
Prioritize the health, prioritize the family, you know. Still, my wife will say that, you know, I still work too much, but you know, it's because I got to shift the time around where in the morning when I take the daughter to school and when I pick the daughter up, I can't work, obviously. So, but
yeah,
not to mention when things are going on with Diablo 2, like with the Resurrected and stuff, you definitely want to devote more time to it for sure.
Oh, those months, man, like, yeah, that's what content creation really is. It's like you'll have the ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
But like, dude, when the ups are there, they're there. It's like, you know, all right, it's time to work, man. You know, 16, 18-hour days, at least for me. And like, then that's just like a lot. But then when it's like chill, it's like, okay, you know, 10, 15 hours this week. You know, it's like, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just depends on what's going on and all that stuff. But
yeah, I'm definitely trying to approach it kind of like job-ish, you know what I mean? Make sure that I put the time in no matter what, and then I can always add on to it. You know, I don't want to get in the habit of like waking up super late. Like, I don't want to put my daughter to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And then me stay up till 4 in the morning. I still got to get her up and take her to school, you know? So.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have any responsibilities other than me. So
no little
like,
Neanderthals out there running around.
Crazy. Hope not.
There's the classic answer. None that I know of.
That's right.
There you go.
But yeah,
How about
So.
some other, we'll go personal stuff, not super personal, but I just mean like non-Diablo 2 related stuff. What type of stuff? Are you a big into sports kind of guy? Fantasy football, you play basketball, stuff, you know?
Yeah, I love sports, esports.
Okay, all right.
But I mostly like StarCraft. I haven't watched it in quite a bit, but I really like watching StarCraft. I am terrible, but I understand the game. And I understand like what's going on pretty well.
Okay.
I just can't play it at all. You know,
Gotcha.
on
Did
my own.
StarCraft did Llama used to play that a little bit? Is that the game that he used to play? Okay, yeah. It was kind
Same
of
game,
what's that, real-time strategy? That's the kind of game it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I can picture it. I've seen it a few times, but
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love those types of things. And watching that is just great. It's like people with their football and stuff like that. I'll do that, but with StarCraft. But as far as like regular sports, not really. I like.
I could picture you backing someone down in the post. You know, being 6'4", giving them some of these.
I know, right? Back in high school, yeah, that's what I did. So, but not anymore. That's not really my thing. It never really was my thing. Like, I didn't really enjoy it that much.
Gotcha. You got pushed into it for being tall, kind of deal.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, you're tall. You should be here." I'm like, "Okay, I'll try it." I was like, "Yeah, that's it." Okay, I'm not interested. I was like playing video games, man. I was inside playing video games, playing Diablo 2, Halo, Call of Duty.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I like running, some working out here and there, yoga. Try to keep up with that every day, just so like I can stay stretched, flexible, because you know, sitting in the chair or being in one spot all the time, it's like, you know, that's a lot.
Yeah,
for your body.
That's some good advice for me right there. I should probably take that to heart. That's the things where you mentioned you like running and stretching. That's like the two things that are like the bane of my existence right there. being older, like cardio and stretching, like so tough. I'm more of like I pick things up and I put them down, kind of working out. You know?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I actually did that in high school quite a bit, and I'm thankful that I did that because now I know how to do all that stuff and I do it here and there still. But yeah, I just enjoy the cardio and the running, you know, just the scenery and everything. That unfortunately I'm in New Hampshire, so it's just trees and snow.
Right.
And that's about it. And it's cold, so it's like
that's what
not the best place
I'm up
to go
in
running.
Michigan, so yeah, it's get a lot of lake effect snow sometimes. You know, it's just all of a sudden you get 3 feet one day. It depends on the year, but yeah, definitely cold up in Michigan too. A lot, way too much.
Yeah.
Like
I mentioned earlier today, I'll be going to Texas, or I'll be moving down south, which is probably going to be Texas. So yeah, 3 seasons back to 3 seasons again, but the other way around. You know. Yeah,
that's a pretty crazy move. Yeah, that's Texas area. You're not going to get too cold usually. That is, anyways.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be great, man. I love the warm weather. I love being outside, and like, dude, there's people up here, man. They're grumpy, man. I'll tell you that. It's a little secret. You know, in New Hampshire and New England, they're grumpy, dude. They don't want to talk to you. They don't even know your name. Like your neighbors with them, you know.
Someone said BT's moving in with Llama because yeah, he's from Texas, there, right?
Yeah.
But
I don't know about that one.
We're gonna see you guys doing keg stands together on stream pretty soon.
Potentially, you never know, man.
Right. So, yeah. Speaking of grumpy people, I'm pretty sure Michigan's back in the day. I don't know if it still is, but was voted like the most unhappiest state like a couple years running. So.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, just like you're trapped inside. Wow. And a lot of it is perception of people's perception of how bad things are or whatever. But yeah, when there was like the whole auto collapse kind of sort of, you know, during the Great Recession or whatever. Yeah. So, but I think it's turned around a little bit. It's not too bad. It's not too bad, Michigan.
That's good.
You always got an easy vacation spot right up here. You got to go up north, or you can go up to the UP. You know, you always got a map with you. I mean, how bad could it be?
Right. Right.
So.
But yeah, that's that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty big life change moving down to Texas. Hope that all works out great for you. So I think I'll go ahead, and it's been almost 2 hours. Been great talking to you, man. Great talking to you. So I think we'll call her a day on the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm pretty happy to be here. It was definitely a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to PTR and what you have to say about it as well, and some of your stuff that you do too. So, anyways, I will catch you guys later. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, appreciate it. Don't forget, by the way, BT, don't forget, keep slaying. Ooh.
Thanks, man. You're a beast.
Oh, man, you're so good at that. Later.